Let's try this. Whoa, things are getting crazy. Here we go. How is... What's that? That's a little more centered up. Hang on a second. Let's Yep, we're good there. Okay. Hey, bud, look out. Tactical Nerd, Greenhill, David James, Jackson, 568, Windlepoons, Fowlin, and Chris Singh. Good afternoon over here, and apparently good evening, Windlepoons, wherever it is you are. How's it going? Love the look of the Secret Shot as a motor cover. Rarely see people use a Secret Shot in integration because it's so dang small. That's correct. Which I don't think I've ever actually seen anybody use just the shell for anything. I've seen people back in the day put them under like night finders or whatever back in like, the old, what do you call it? Nerf Haven days and stuff like that. So, no, I just happened to have one in that last pile and thought, that looks really cool. I want to be able to use this little piece here. And it just happened to work really well all around with the current project. Generally, it would make for a bad motor cover, and since it's not really acting as a motor cover, like we're not running 180s in this, it's not actually tall enough to cover the stack of motors. But it's just there to look cool and to kind of fill up the space and things like that. So, hi. Do you need something? You just need a pet? You've been napping real nice all morning. Okay. Excuse me. Hey, bud. Thank you. Oh, hi. Yes, hi. Okay, so honestly, I have not even looked at this since the end of the stream last week. So I'm just trying to refresh my brain real quick. Okay, we haven't done anything here. So there's that and those. Windlepoons, UK 8:30. All right. Well, that ought to give you a little bit of watch time before you have to go off to bed or whatever it is you do. So you are welcome to stick around as long as you please. Let's see, that's right. I took it down to just below the letters. About this point. Hello, Freeish Skywalker and Matt at work during break. Sound off. No, okay. I assume that means your sound is off and you're not asking people to sound off. In which case, if you have the sound off, you don't even know that I'm asking. So, okay, so that's right. We worked around this thing, which is the actual motor cover. The motors actually are back here, but I wanted to try to take advantage of this line here and use up some of this dead space, which means we're going to have to get creative with this, which also means that since we don't have this bump on here from the motors, it really depends on what the heck we end up with by the time we get this here, which also means we need to trim out this little screw port thing and fill it in and try to make it not look bad. Which shouldn't be too bad. Just need to trim that out, fill in that little corner, and we should be good to go. But if this goes here, let's see, we trimmed off just that little bit. So, just going to trim this off of this little bump with the screw port on it. That way we're at least even here, since we're going to have to build something anyway. Supposed to be pronounced Fresh because I spelled the name wrong when I made this account years ago, and at that time you couldn't really change your YouTube name or whatever. Gotcha. Legend has it that's how Jengular's name is. It was actually a mistype from a long time ago, and the name stuck. I believe he had that in a video a long time ago. That was, shoot, that was, I was still pretty young in the hobby back then. This is coming along nicely. Thank you very much, Matt. If your sound is off, you don't hear me thanking you, but I do appreciate it regardless. And I'm also rather pleased with how well this is coming along so far. Again, I attribute that to the shells mating up really well and getting along nicely, and not necessarily by my abilities to make the shells work. Where is okay. Just going to real quick trim the bottom of this off so we can start fitting this like we did on this side, just so we can get some of the Dremel stuff out of the way before we get more people, since that's a boring part and loud. Okay, gonna change over to a little itty bitty bit just to clean up this real quick, just to get that done and get it out of the way. Looking at you making these integrations always look so easy. Meanwhile, as it takes forever for me to make decent progress. No, I totally echo that. I have a pile of things not making progress right now. I just am kind of forcing myself, where if I'm working, while being spectated at or whatever, then I kind of have to stay on topic a little bit, and I can actually throw ideas around and kind of war game with things a little more openly with you guys watching. So it holds me accountable, keeps me on track, gives me kind of a sounding board as well. So that's super duper helpful. You see my work on Instagram. Okay, I was going to say your name. Are you also the same name on Instagram? The name seems familiar. I know you're common on the on the streams here and around the different nerve tubes. Names. I'm super bad at names, and so it's not you, it's me. Misspelled Reddit username. Yep. Gary Ashby, thanks for stopping by. You are certainly know your way around integrations as well, and as I recall, especially the modulus. If anybody doesn't know, Gary Ashby is the I just know him as the Hyperfire grip guy. He's put a Hyperfire grip on pretty much everything I think that Nerf has ever produced, and it always looks pretty darn good. So keep doing your thing, and just know we're out there watching. So good job. What sort of internals? No idea. Nerf. Oh, geez, yeah. Okay, yeah. I know who you are. Yeah, you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I get you. You've actually made some pretty good progress on that. Yeah, that's the vector one, right? Yeah, you put the vector magwell on the Centurion bits on the Strife and all that. Yeah, that thing's coming along good. It's been kind of fun to watch that progress over the probably years at this point, but I certainly know how that goes. Good to hear my Dremel is doing better now. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what the Dremel sounds like on the camera. I watched back a piece of the drive along stream from last week or whatever, and yeah, the that's not what my car sounds like. That's apparently what either the stream or the microphone made my car sound like. My car sounds a lot cooler than that, and yes, I totally get the NES vibes. But hopefully it was just the microphone, because this is the microphone that destroyed itself when we got home. So again, if anybody has really good recommendations for a lav mic, because mine is not good anymore, unless you can fix that, and I don't think so, let me know. Saboteur, yes, that's the one I'm talking about. This bit is so dull, it doesn't really cut through the plastic, it just kind of heats it up and melts it out of the way. So I need to invest in some decent Dremel bits, because they're all in fact, it was this one that I can't get a hold of, apparently. Yeah, this one's actually broken halfway down. Like, I apparently tried to grind on something much harder than what it wanted to. I actually don't even know why I have that. It's not good for anything. But yeah, I just need to invest in some some of the fancy bits. Generally, what I use is the little diamond cutting wheel, which I also need to get a new one of, and the big barrel and little barrel. But it would be nice to get a few more of these little guys, just for situations like this. Ah, Spam, welcome aboard. Yes, Dremel is the sound of progress. Kind of a two-edged sword. It's the sound of progress, which can easily turn into making more work for yourself if you don't treat it right. How's it going? It is going swell so far. Actually, kind of on that note, I'm technically on call today for work, and so there is a good possibility I could get an email or a phone call and have to boogie in a big hurry. So there might be a work phone making noise over here, but we're going to hope that it doesn't do that. But like I said, if it does come up, I will have to just split, and we'll pick this up maybe tomorrow or something. Actually, it depends on how tomorrow goes. I actually am having a local guy come over, if that still works out, and he's going to pick up some blasters, just some of that stuff that I got last week, and a few other odds and ends. Just trying to clean up, organize, make more room and stuff like that. In fact, it's Anchor Arts, which I know Drax had a few of his blasters featured. Foam Blast has had him mod of the week several times. He's a local guy out here, does prop building and cosplay type stuff, but does a lot of Nerf-based works. In fact, that's the guy, if you saw Instagram right around Christmas time, a coworker of mine who's also a friend of his had me painted up a Diva blaster for me for Christmas, and that was his work. Dremel cutting wheels are getting really dull. All my money's going into my broke down car. Yes, I can certainly relate to that. I have a handful of those, and actually got really close yesterday to getting another one, but somebody snagged it out from under me. That's the second time I've lost out on one of those recently. But here's hoping I can get lucky and maybe grab the next one that comes up out here locally. Because not only is my garage ironically full of Nerf projects that I had to push the car projects out, but I also have a yard. Well, not yard. Yard sounds too redneckish. It's a side driveway and sheds that are full of a host of car projects in similar states of repair and disrepair. Spam, finally home for once. Oh, congratulations. That's first time this year. Well, it's still pretty early on this year, but yeah, I know you mentioned you didn't really see home very much last year, so hopefully you're able to enjoy it for a little bit. Heading to Cleveland in a couple of days after a few very productive days. Dropped a decent pick of the Ultra 5 and then did a ton more networking. Yes, saw that. That's a very disappointing looking thing. The Ultra blasters all look like they were, like from what we've seen so far, just the aesthetic and everything looks like it was rendered very poorly, like they roughed out a lot of the body shape and just said, here's roughly what we want it to look like, and then they put it into production. Like, there's just so many awkward lines and awkward details on that Ultra 5 thing, which is just really dumb. I still think that having a thing called the 5 that's a 4-shot and having a thing called the 4 that's a 6-shot and having a thing that's a single shot called the 4 or however that works. No, 4, 2. Yeah. No, the two's the revolver, right? No, yeah, we don't know what the 3 is. Yeah, their naming setup is stupid. Like, why didn't the single shot be the Ultra 1? Because it's a single shot. Cool. You know, you could do like a double strike kind of thing for the 2. The 3 would be the 5. You know, that has that internal magazine. That'd make a lot more sense. It's still a stupid thing to say the name of this thing is the number of shots it has. It's something you would expect from like Busby or something dumb like that. But yeah, the fact that you have no no rationale for the naming uh, system. It's like maybe the 1 is like the first one released. Well, okay, technically I guess the 2 was in there next, but then we missed 3, and then yeah, it's dumb. Nerf is dumb right now, but that's okay. They're doing all right on the rival front. That's good enough for me for right now. Oh, Bobololo, how the heck are you? Using X-Acto knife and dry fitting to make the piece. Actually, Bobo, this is very, very much the similar thing. I'm actually just roughing things out and just kind of chatting. There's going to be plenty of puttying to have to do later, so don't worry about that. But I appreciate you stopping by. I feel like the Ultra line was developed for a video game with low resolution. And I said, good enough. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what. Yeah, that's yeah. Because there's a lot of things that looking at the pictures on Nerf News this morning, and actually, I think I saw your post spam last night, very very late when I got home from work, and I thought that could have looked a lot cooler if they made this line go here, maybe brought this up here and did this and this and this with it. But it just looks like they just it's just such un, a box with no character. It's got some lines on it and some potential, but it looks like if they'd spent another hour on the blueprints, roughing, shaping the thing out, they could have had something really, really cool, actually. But, you know, in the quest for the almighty dollar, they cut every corner they can, apparently. Nightwing, Ultra 25 rounds, Ultra 2, 6, Ultra 3 unknown, Ultra 4, 1. Yes, exactly. That's. Yeah, that it. Yeah, that's. Yeah. Thank you, everybody who made the notes there. Nightwing Nerf for cataloging that all for us. Okay, I'm going to carve out this little area here for this guy to sit down in. I mean, I trimmed that out originally so this would sit down nice and low before, but in order to make everything else line up on this side, I built that area back up. But in order to keep it consistent, instead of trying to factor in exactly how thick each layer is and blah, 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 I'm just going to do the same cut, and we will just replicate the same mistakes on this side so at least it balances out. Is it the best way to do things? Probably not. How do you plan to attach the upper jaw? Actually, as suggested by Alice when she stopped by last week, she talked about using some carbon fiber rods to kind of reinforce, to get it installed in there, and then run some carbon fiber rods on the inside of the joint all the way across. So that way, instead of the joint relying on strength here, you're basically able to pull the line from here back apparently as far as the motors anyway, and just try to bridge that whole area. That way, you can still have the nice open area up front, because I was considering bridging this, which I could still do also, but I like the idea of having it kind of open. But that would give it strength all the way across to where it would have a bit of flexibility without all the stress being on the joint right here. You'd drag the load bearing area all the way across the whole front of the thing. So that's what the plan is. I need to do some hobby store shopping. Not going to happen this week. Maybe next week or something like that. Or if the opportunity arises later on this week, maybe I'll do that. Hi, regular dog. But that's the plan right now. But that'll be kind of a whole project in itself. At that point, we're going to focus on doing this and blending some more in here and doing this, and except I'm pretty happy with how this all relates in this area here. This is still going to be kind of confusing, but at least we have this area here kind of works, and I think we can blend this together all right. But yeah, the top jaw is going to be a whole project on its own. Hi, you just have to get your rubber nose on camera? Is that what you're doing? Greg your dog. Bobololo, $2. Heck yeah, boy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's only $2, but $2 adds up quick. So thank you very much for your contribution. Okay, so we're going to get the Dremel out and open the stream up to Dremel criticism, apparently. And, oh, glasses are on my face. Not used to wearing glasses. $2, you can buy a knockoff Omron switch. Oh, there we go. And yes, again, I try to any donations, well, any proceeds from the channel. In fact, I got a notification the other day saying, "Hey, your Google AdSense or whatever check came in," and it was like, "Oh wow, it's only been like 6-8 months." Anytime a YouTube check or any super chat stuff stays in the hobby, so you donate here, it's not going to pay bills or buy me a fancy meal or something like that. It's going to go to somebody else in the community some way or another. I also try to keep that try to not also buy corporate blasters with that. I try to keep it in the community, in the hobby aspect of things. And so, in fact, with proceeds from the last big stream, which was a couple weeks ago, I bought the, what the heck's he call it? 01 Tech on Etsy. Made a really nice looking pump grip for the takedown. And so as soon as he was posting about that on Instagram, I was like, yes, as soon as it hits the market, I'm buying that. And then so I got that ordered, and it should be coming, I don't know, in a couple weeks, whenever they come out. But it is ordered anyway. But there again, money here stays in the community. $5. Thank you very much. Wish you could go with us to Foam Fest. Oh, geez, that's Foam Fest is my next big list item thing. I would. I don't know anything about flying overseas or know anything about what to do or anything with Europe, but I did do some Googling around and try to find some flights, and flights are going to be like $1,500 over there and back, and then of course housing and crap like that above and beyond there, which I'm not quite so concerned with. Man, 4 figures is just way too much to handle for me. Like that would if it's going to cost that much, then the wife's going to come along and we're going to spend like a week or two in Europe, because it's just so hard to justify that kind of expense for just like even a long weekend. And so that's something it's going to have to be like next year or even the year after that, and kind of save up, or I don't know. But yeah, I would leap at the opportunity to do Foam Fest for sure. Call me Socks. Thank you very much for the extra $2. You are now matched with Bobo in case you're competing. Any plans to go to PSU HVZ? Oh yeah, and also Spam FoamCon this year. I don't know how that's going to work. Just schedule wise and everything, and with the current work situation, I could probably swing it, but man, that's a long trip, and I don't travel well that far. Georgia was that was uh, that was pretty far. I mean, as far as that's a lot of time on a plane, and I'm not super duper crazy about an extra 2 or 3 hours in the air. That was when the wife and I went to Hawaii for our anniversary this last year. That was that's a lot of time in a plane. Of course, I guess being over water is probably worse, but yeah, that was not a good time. I mean, Hawaii was great, don't get me wrong, but the having to be on an airplane, which of course was quicker than swimming or driving. That was a joke. Um, yeah, I just yeah, anything like Midwest and closer, heck yeah. But yeah, you start getting out that far, and I'm just I don't think my body and brain can handle that. The handle deletion makes mine look like it was made with my teeth. Handle deletion. Oh, you're talking. Okay, gotcha. The top handle thing. Well, it's just some time with a file, and it's probably going to get worse. I need to fill up the hole still. But thanks from Sweden, right? Alexander, you're Sweden, correct? You're up there up in that area anyway, I believe, correct? Okay, time to donate for. Oh, geez, yeah, that would definitely change my plans, but I would feel awful having that kind of coin dropped in my lap, which I mean would be, excuse you, would be an incredible blessing, obviously, but also I I'd have a hard time with that one. I think just swallowing it. What you doing? Trying to be noticed? If you stick your face over here, everybody else can see you too. Yeah. At least Endor is in State College, PA. There's an airport in town. Well, that would be a lot less of a drive from the airport to the event than we've had in the years past, which is a plus. But yeah, yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I liked airplanes. I'd never been on one until a couple of years ago, but the idea was always cool. But yeah, the more time I spend on airplanes and in airports, the less thrilled I am about them. But I would say Foam Fest or whatever. Yes, that's like a week and a half on a plane trying to get over there, but I think that would be worth it. Penn State, I just that's going to be more of a mental and emotional challenge to get to that one. I'm gonna have to do some soul searching on that. Hawaii's only like 3,000 or 4,000 miles away. You can swim that far, give or take. I mean, you have to drop on an island somewhere and kind of, rest a little bit. Delta flies there too, which is hugely important. Okay. Tell me about it. I'm so used to air travel now. It's not even funny. Yeah, I don't know how you do it, Spam. Uh, I am way too much of a homebody. I would just as soon be home than be anywhere else, which frustrates the crap out of my poor wife because all she wants to do is go out and like hang out with people and do things. And I'm like, I just want to be home. I just want to be home. Can we just be home? You know. What are we bumping into here? Oh, I get you. I get you. Oh, is that wait till I retired? Well, that would make a difference. I mean, I reckon if you know, come that beautiful day when I retire and I get to not have to fight to be home, then yeah, I probably want to be adventurous or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I was just not the traveling type. I mean, I don't know. I do think it's funny that I've gone and seen more places through nerfing than I have really otherwise. That was the first time. It was a End War 2 years ago. Going to the place everybody hates, Ohio. That was the first time I've been east of the Idaho border, and Georgia was the first time going over the Mississippi. No, Mississippi. That did we go over that for Ohio? I try to forget the Ohio experience altogether, actually. But yeah, and then I've willingly gone to California more times through Nerf reasons than for other reasons, and so I mean, if it's Nerf, if it takes Nerf to get me to Europe, that's really the only reason I'd want to go. No offense to Europe people, it's pretty and stuff, but just there's not enough like things that would, because I'm way cheap, like I'm stupid cheap, and so it's like Europe's cool and all, and that'd be fun, but there's really no way for me to justify the expense. Otherwise, again, no offense, Europe type folks. That's just me being cheap and saying Europe looks cool in pictures, but I don't know if I want to wander around there necessarily. Just because I'm not a traveling guy. Again, no offense to our European viewers here. Where's the barrel from? You're talking the front end? That is the Alpha Hawk. Used to look like that or something, and it came loose and it's going to get moved around. Mostly stay home during the day and work at home. Ah, gotcha. I could totally handle that, I think. I hate traveling, especially when all the Nerf events near me are like 2 to 5 hours away. Not that I could even go if I wanted to because my whole car situation. Nah, I can. I'm with you on that one as well. I mean, there's been several events in the Utah group down south from us that, of course, I've been to a couple. Not huge ones or anything, just little get-togethery things. More of a, hey, I'm going to be in Utah. You guys want to do anything? And then they're like, cool, we'll throw some guys together. But I've never actually been for an event, which would be cool. I do want to get up to the Pacific Northwest. Every time we've been up there traveling, I've checked the schedules and to see if there's anything going on so I could pack a Nerf bag, but just the stars haven't aligned for me yet. Google Photos are free, vacations aren't. Exactly. That was actually had a chat with a coworker gal, former coworker gal, years ago before I was married, and she was like, you're such a dang homebody, and I'm like, yep. She's like, don't you ever want to go, go see things and go places? And I'm like, no. Well, yeah, don't you ever want to go to like Africa and stuff? And I'm like, no. Well, yeah, but it's really pretty. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I've seen nature documentaries and stuff, and yeah, they have pretty sunsets, and they got giant cats and stuff like that. That's all cool, but I really don't want to go look at them. And she just couldn't understand that because she was very much the opposite. Of course, she didn't really like living in a small town either, so different strokes for different folks, as they say. A car guy wants to stay at home, yes, because we have some nice back roads and we have lots of desert. So there's plenty of time to drive and just be driving, not necessarily to a destination, driving for the sake of driving. Which is different because I don't like driving like when we're traveling. Like when we're in Hawaii, then I don't know how the heck my wife does it. She got deals on we were driving a new Camaro convertible for the same price we were going to pay for like a rinky dink economy box car thing. So yeah, we had a good time driving that thing around, and it was kind of cool. But you can't see any of the sights because you're driving around trying to like not hit chickens in the road, or they got some of the dumbest people. I mean, I hear Hawaiian people are nice, but I don't know if it's the natives or not. But yeah, boy, driving is hard for them apparently. That's not a fun time driving on their roads. No offense to Hawaii people, just wow, that was just kind of rough in a few spots. But yeah, I don't know. I like driving for the sake of driving, but I wouldn't want to drive in a place that I want to actually look around because I want to be able to look around and not have to worry about crashing into natives and locals and stuff. But okay, we've stalled long enough. So let's file it down just a little bit more, just so we're nice and flush. Okay, this guy. I think I got some smaller lighters. These ones. That'll work. Okay, just gonna put a little DevCon on this so that we can trim up the edge and then get it kind of in the right uh, proximity to things. There we are. Pop-up sites would look cool. Not totally sold on what I want to do yet. I was actually kind of thinking a integrated reflex type site, just a little box with a window in it kind of thing. I think would be cool. I want to go as kind of low profile as possible, but a lot's going to depend on what the final form with the once the top jaw's in place and we got the top end capped off here and some of this is blended in better and on the grip. And then we'll kind of decide how we want to cap things off. And probably not going to get a silencer. I want to, or any kind of barrel. I'm going to leave this open, just kind of accentuate the jaw part of things. So we'll see how that goes. Spam, gotta head out. Even though I just got home, gotta head to another project. Good grief, man. I don't know how you do it. Love you, brother. If you need anything, holler at me. Same to you, man. Thanks for stopping by. I always appreciate your input and just your company. Where's my little... Put that guy there. Okay, set that side aside dirt to dry. Take some of these extra, and I'll cram it around on this guy here, just to use it up. Gonna go now. Have a nice evening, day. Thank you very much, Fresh Skywalker. Appreciate you stopping by. Uh, have a good one and good luck on your projects and things. Just about to say, wouldn't latex gloves work? That DevCon glue, I hate to get on my hands. It stinks, but you just give it a good rub, and it all goes away. So I'm not overly concerned. I know it's probably full of evil, bad things that kill Californians and whatnot, but yes, will my exposure to all this crap, probably shorten my life or whatever? But I don't know. I mean, got pretty good circulation in here and stuff like that. I'm not overly concerned. But okay. Oh. Open this guy back up for the heck of it. Put that guy back in just because it does kind of help affect the profile of things, just to help see the overall big picture. Is DevCon epoxy resin? DevCon, there again, DevCon is just a brand. It's just kind of a slang term, kind of like Band-Aid. What I use is the plastic welder, which technically isn't an epoxy as far as epoxies go. It is a methyl methacrylate, which is chemically way different. It's still a two-part mix. In fact, it comes in the same tubes as their, various levels of epoxies and things like that, but it's chemically different. It basically does technically weld plastic together. It doesn't just glue things together. It actually melts, like attacks the plastic and softens it, bonds itself to the plastic and also the plastic to the other plastic you're sticking it to. And so, just like welding steel, you're superheating the two pieces and adding uh, the, the wire or the rod or whatever you're welding with. And so it kind of not only welds the uh, substrate to the material you're welding on, but also heats it up and sticks together itself. It's chemically, yes, welding, not just whereas most epoxies basically is just like a glue. It just sticks two things together. The DevCon actually bonds chemically. Kind of like some people will do acetone. Will treat both sides with acetone, which softens and makes it all sticky, and then stick them together, and then add some more stuff around it, and it basically just glues the heck of it together. It's actually the material bonding to its other material. So it's totally different than epoxy, even though it mixes the same way. It applies differently and it acts differently chemically, but it is basically the best possible thing for what we're doing here because it's designed to stick plastic to plastic, and especially like ABS type plastic, which is basically what this is. And so it's literally made for this type of purpose. And it also sands and shapes very similar to plastic, whereas like a lot of epoxies are harder or softer than the surrounding plastic. The DevCon cures basically the same density and structure, whatever you want to call it, and so it's easy to shape, especially if you're bonding kind of complex areas and stuff like that, because you can kind of shape everything all together. Casually out here roasting everyone. Crap, was I roasting people unintentionally again? I hate that. Again, nothing of what I said was designed to say be like, I don't like Europe. It was just like, I like being home more than I like being away, and Europe is a long way away. But I would totally go there hands down for Nerf. Full Picatinny rail on top with a bolt action jam door. That was actually originally considered, but I really liked how smooth it looked with nothing there at all. Especially where it has a step down here. A rail all the way across here would be kind of cool, but I'm just not feeling it. I mean, that's not to say. I mean, I have what 1, 2, or 3 more moduluses here in the box for doing whatever I want to with, and so I'll probably do one of those eventually because I have seen flat topped or like full rail moduluses and they look real cool. Just not necessarily for this project here. Anyone know a UK equivalent? I do not know. I know that. Oh, what the heck? I got exiled using uh, DevCon. He actually had to special order it. I think he went through Amazon, and it was way expensive just because of the dumb shipping. And I don't know how he liked it or not, but I know he was using it for a little bit. I know Australians have tried to get it, and you can't get it for whatever reason. At least not the DevCon brand. I'm not sure about. I don't know if you can Google methyl methacrylate, which isn't going to be on the tube itself. No, it'd be on the box. But I've had that mentioned and probably typed out a time or two on various videos in the past. In fact, let's. No, in fact, I made a post on it. Instagram and Facebook. There's a post about the DevCon and what you're looking for as far as chemically. Yeah, it contains methyl methacrylate. Let's see if I can get the killer zoom on this, or if it'll even take. Is it going to focus? Probably not going to focus. Nope, sorry, I ain't focusing. But yeah, it's just look for something that has that as the first ingredient or contains or whatever, some kind of main ingredient of some kind, and that's the good stuff you want to find. I know. I think Crazy Glue has a version. I know Permatex has one. There's a lot of companies that make a methyl methacrylate adhesive, but I like the DevCon brand the most. We also have a Ace Hardware store brand that's very similar. that I also like as a backup, but I didn't like the Permatex and I didn't like the crazy glue ones that I had to use in the past. But I also know that different batches won't work as well. Like if it's old or it got too hot, it won't work as well. So I don't know if I just got a bad batch of the other brands. But due to the nature of what I do with this, I want to make sure I'm using good stuff that I trust. Alex Heath, what's shaking, y'all? Only the leaves and the trees. And Canada ended up getting Permatex. Yep, there we go. Can't get DevCon in Canada. Used 2 other epoxy plastic welders that failed. They didn't have the methyl methacrylate ingredient. Yep, that's a thing. That's I went through. It was what do I call that? The Shrike, which I gave to Wallcom, which became Rage of Dust. That's Strife crossbolt integration. I actually ran out of DevCon and I couldn't find anything in the valley. I bought up everything they had in the valley. There's I think 4 or 5 stores. Bought everything they had, and it was all bad. It was like a bad batch or a bad shipment or something like that. But you'd try to mix it, and it was like one was already cured or it wouldn't cure at all, but it still softened the plastic, and so it just caused such a headache. And so I ended up buying every brand I could find, and it was a bad scene. Bad scene. Project still came out okay though, in the end. Thomas Moss, Permatex plastic welders, good stuff. Okay, maybe you've had better luck with it than I. Which is totally okay. If you trust it, that's a good deal. I will say that I probably just had a bad batch that caused my problems. Actually, you know what? While we're here, you know what? Let's do. We're totally gonna get sidetracked. Well, hang on a second. I'm gonna get sidetracked from getting sidetracked. Okay, this is cured, so we're gonna play with this first. Then I was thinking about grinding off this ridge here, like we talked about last week, and seeing what the options are for creating a panel here. So let's play with this first. In fact, we'll take off this extra addition here, cut the red back to this same arc, so we can get a nice line, and see how we feel after that. Beware methyl methacrylate adhesive has a limited shelf life. Yes, lasts longer if you keep it in the fridge. Yes, it doesn't like sitting around very long, especially open, and it doesn't like getting hot. So it makes it, it's very volatile in the summer as far as shelf life. Doing pretty good in the winter because it's been so dang cold in the garage, but in summer I will only buy it as I need it because it'll just cook out here. Like sometimes during the summer I'm lucky if I get to the end of the tube before it goes out or before it goes bad. Apologize ahead of time. I'll be in and out making burgers for the next half hour. Lucky. looking for stuff. Okay, fine. Oh, there. Right where I should have looked first. Okay, if you want to glue plastic, I like to use Yoo-Hoo All-Plast or 5-minute epoxy. Seems to work quite good. Ah, interesting. I have never heard of either of those things. But I always save recommendations in my back pocket just in case I can't get what I like. Nice to have backup. Doomlord, love your content. My kid is nuts about Nerf. Nice. So far, I've built him an auto vector, 5K pump retaliator, and a pretty nice striped. Very nice. Very nice. I'm going to turn this off. There we go. That was the light on my chronograph. It was casting some weird shadows. Actually, let me see if I can turn on this guy here, though. See if that helps as well. Don't know if that helped or hurt, but okay. Okay, so that's actually like that. I'm starting to doubt myself. Okay, interesting. Thought right here was that the white of the Modulus logo was just the white plastic, and the green um, print over the top was just cleverly dancing around the letters. Unfortunately, it is a two-part. It is just green, and then they put the white on top. So it's going to be a bit trickier to get inside here to fill in the letters, which I was going to originally just fill full of DevCon and smooth the whole thing out, and then be able to blend this dude in all nice and neat. But we're going to have to do something different. Huh. We might have to go to the blast cabinet for this one, but I don't know if we're too long already, so that's kind of a bummer. Sure as heck, I'm not going to just sit here and try to scratch that all out. Well, we're not going to worry about it right now. How's that? My camera's not focusing. That figures. Could just be a crappy stream quality or something, or it could have a weird smudge on the screen. I'm not sure. Hang on a second. Let's just ruin everything and go. Blah. Sure. There. Okay. There we go. Hopefully everybody didn't leave in a hurry. We back on? We good? Okay. Anyway, getting back to project at hand. Oh, afternoon, J. Rowe. Okay, and again, I cut this too far forward, kind of like I did over here. But that one actually wasn't as bad. And I think, like last time, we're going to make the very poor decision and just try to hold this thing in place while it dries. So, just because of the nature of the joint that I need. Wendell Poons lost the stream. I'm sorry, I reset it thinking that would help, but did it not help? Are we not live anymore? We're back. Oh, good deal. Live camera's fuzzy. Well, like a lot of that is really the fact that I'm streaming from my phone, and my phone probably doesn't like it, so it's probably killing the quality. I have ambitions, especially since I don't have the. I don't know. I could probably still make videos right now, but my time. I mean, like right now, I could be making a video, but it's a lot more stressful to set up all the video stuff, set up the camera, try to get all that set up, and then try to have a actual sit down video make sense of. Hey, why are we up here? Where's the thing? There we go. Turn around. There we go. Okay. Don't know why we keep dropping off. It's kind of a bummer. like I said, it'd be nice to invest a little bit into a better streaming setup besides sticking my phone up there. But this is what I have right now, and that's what's going to have to be okay right now. So when a better situation arises, we will go from there. Okay, Wendell Poons has left, so sorry things were kind of being all weird, but Edskar, welcome aboard. We're just kind of picking up where we left off. You haven't really missed much except for the stream keeps dropping off. So uh, if you guys want to let me know when the stream freaks out or whatever, since I'm not always watching the screen itself, especially since there's a lot of times where I'm not doing things. But so yeah, if things get weird, just be like, hey, your stream died, because I'll notice that more than if this image itself is stuck. How could you make a Nemesis skinnier, and if so, how? You talking top to bottom or side to side? Because I would say skinnier would be side to side, like looking from the top down, making it skinnier. But if you're talking from the side profile, lowering the profile, then you can cut a lot off the bottom, and you can cut the hopper down. I know that's what Exile did for his Nemesis pistols, and it looks very, very nice. Nightwing, I would start to do streams on my channel, but I don't think anyone would be interested in my mods. That depends. Also, if you're a lesser known channel, you might have to do a bit of advertising if you have other Instagram, Facebook, whatever kind of things or whatever. I know a lot of groups don't like advertising for channel stuff, but you know, if you're active on your own, like I said, pages or Instagram or whatever, then you know, get the word out that way. But you never know. I didn't think people would want to sit down and watch me trim things with files or sit here and sort screws in my pajamas and you know, crap like that. But you never know. Keeping the length and height and slimming it down widthwise. That I have no idea. Did a few live streams with 0 viewers. Nobody starts big, but you got to get practice in. And that's the thing. I think there for a while I had like 5 or 6, and now we kind of average around 15 to 20ish, and I've had upwards of 30 sometimes when things are really hopping. But it just depends on the kind of people you attract, I guess. And Ed, honestly, like I've tried watching some of your live streams when you're doing modeling stuff, but watching 3D modeling is really, really hard to do for me because my brain does not do well with 3D modeling, like just the idea of everything. So it's nothing against you personally. It's just the subject matter. Okay, we're getting there. Again, this is totally not the good way to do it, trying to hold something in place just because the Devcon is a bit viscous. So it can move around a little bit while you're trying to hold it in place. I generally like to glue something, like hot glue it, and then Devcon around it. But since I needed a surface-to-surface bond, have this sitting flat on here, then this is kind of what I got right now. Fair few people actually watch 3D modeling live streams anyway. You're right. Yes, and I like watching what you design after the fact. See, I'm totally cool with that. It's just drawing lines, moving lines around and stuff. Just, I'm sorry. Okay. Still a bit soft. Just a couple seconds. But lines are your thing. You. Okay, in all fairness, you got me there. Different kind of lines, I think. I have a hard time watching lines in the void of space. I can look at lines on a thing, on an item, and appreciate aesthetic lines. But yes, lines on a blank plane just not so much. Okay, so we have our guilds established. So we got that going for us. At least here we have this line we can play off of. We still need to do something with this box. I'm really thinking about actually shaving this off because we still have adequate clearance for 130s with this surface here because there's a lot of room underneath this bump. So I'm thinking, I'm just really not sure. I mean, we kind of have to play off this a little bit, otherwise we have to, because we have just real flat line. So if we can pull this line down into here, and then pull this, really feel I've painted myself into a corner here. Let's do this for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to trim this up a little bit so we can follow this line here. Can I make that darker? I don't know if that's going to show up on stream that way, but there's a body line there. And I think I need to bring this down to, we cut that there right before it rolls under, and then build that up from this line. That'd be awful square though. So we may play off the actual break before it drops in where the grip is down here. We may bring this as the line break and angle down to this. That would soften that edge so it's not just a 90-degree angle coming off. And pull that back to here. I reckon we could take this guy, this line here, pull him back to here at this layer, and still maintain this shape the way this was before, where it kind of had. No, it's there we go. Had kind of roughly this kind of shape to it. So I'm thinking if we have, because we have this flat layer here where the modulus bump is, which we're going to be filling in anyway. I reckon if we bring that, like bring that to here to meet up with this. Well, no, that's still up a little higher as well. This is slightly higher than this, I believe. Yeah, just slightly. But perhaps if we just if we leave this layer where it is, and then start at this point right here and bump this up just a little bit to meet up with this, build a whole new platform, but then that tapers down a ways. But I reckon what we could do, oh boy, yeah, like I said, I really painted myself into a corner here that I wasn't expecting. But I'm happy with, I'm not backing down out of the idea of using their cool motor covers, which are not actually motor covers, they're just extensions in the area of the motors, more or less, kind of ish. But that's just not nearly as clever of a name. But I do like the actually utilizing the Secret Strike just because cool, and also because you get these little slits that kind of mimic the gills. kind of. But we did have this, but there's that weird little textured area here that I didn't like. But let's see if we take this, raise it up to this point, or I guess we could even grinder this down to, say, this point here. This is slightly lower. Just take this guy down to this. Then we could have this area here and then drop down to that, which would be a little more subtle. Otherwise, we're going to have so much bulk up here. Because I think if we have it step down slightly into the majority of the area here, and then just have this area here mimic the same shape, and have that kind of naturally shaped with the way it was, like I probably should have kept it. Well, no, I had a kind of a weird little cut in, as I recall, and I want to have, we have kind of more of a natural arc this away. Which that it might involve puttying. We might be puttying that just for the sake of sanity, because I'm not going to find a piece of plastic that's perfectly contoured this way that'll contour perfectly this way and be able to be cut to that shape. That just ain't going to happen. But I'm kind of digging the idea of bringing this down. This is a bit of a high point, higher than this. I think if we have this as our main, focal thing, and then it steps down for the, and then have this area come down, like maybe we have kind of a subtle line here from the mag well. If we have this come this away, which will create kind of an awkward space here. Then, let's see, is this... Actually appears that this surface is the same as here. And so basically we just be filling in this middle area, this valley, so to speak, a little bit. I think that would work. I think that would work because you'd have the main shape of, like, this kind of main line here hooking back. I think that would be kind of your main. Your eye would see that shape first, and then you'd see this shape kind of bulging slightly over that. I think that would be legal. I think we could pull that off. I think that would keep it. It'll still keep it kind of subtle a little bit, or at least as much as we want. Son's joining me to watch now. Can you say hi, Adam? Well, hi, Adam. Thanks for joining your dad and hanging out with us for a little bit. Glad to have you. Flip the foregrip around. Really can't because it's got a screw mount here and a tab over here, and we have to do some heck of a lot of cutting to make that work. But if we can kind of rough it out. Supposed to be getting ready for bed. Well, that's okay. I mean, this is educational time, right? It's legal. It's not like you're watching sports or cheap entertainment. This is quality family time, right? I'm not advocating for, overruling parents' rules and things like that. But so dang it, if you got to go to bed, you got to go to bed, and that's kind of Dad's rules. So I leave that up to his jurisdiction. But while you're here, you can feel free to enjoy yourself. So the foregrip would flow better that way around the line. Time you enjoy wasting wasn't wasted. The philosophy of Ed Scar. Adam says hi. All right, thank you very much. Alice, happy Monday to you as well. Thanks for stopping by. Always glad to see your face. I know you're not actually here, but your face popped up in the stream, and so that basically counts, kind of. Sound like Zambona. That's not such a bad thing. His incurable positivity is actually like a good thing to have around. That might set down a little bit more. I'm not sure if I'd even like that. Of course, I'm not crazy about liking it Now, I do like having this area here you can hang on to. I don't know. Not sure, not sure, not sure. Whew. Well, shoot. Dang it, Alice! I could have used a 10 minutes. Could have used you 10 minutes ago. But yeah, we're just kind of talking about just using your aesthetic eye for things. Kind of kicking around the idea of here of what to do with this whole area, because my brain has been focused on basically this portion here of things and not paying as much attention to the back end here. So what we're thinking is, at least what I'm thinking, because nobody else has perked up with anything, because everybody else is just kind of kicking it, and that's totally cool. And besides, I think this would be really hard to explain through chat. But what I'm thinking, catching up Alice here, because she's always one of my favorite go-tos for talking about design things like this, because we think very much on the same plane, but in different directions, so to speak. So she makes for a really, really good sounding board for ideas. What we're thinking, because I got this is a higher, well, just like a quick, what we're dealing with here, we have this surface here, and we have a slightly taller surface here where we'll just call them motor covers, even though it's not actually what they are. This surface here is the same as this surface here. But this here is a bit taller, so I'm thinking about shaving it down to the same level here, or no, this level here is even lower than this, so I'm thinking about trimming this down to this layer, and then bringing this straight out, following this line here, and this line here, and bringing it out to the rest of this here, so you'd have, this sticks up, and then this is the next lower level, and it steps down slightly for the area in between, and then bring this around into this shape you can kind of see here, to kind of pull this around here and bring that kind of a natural looking curve. So it's just kind of a protrusion there. So you'd have like this main shape, which would step down into this level here, and then step down a little bit more into this level in this area here. Going to fill in the modulus logo. Yes, we actually just discussed that a little bit ago, with the fact that the green is screen printed on or whatever, and then the white is over the top. Whereas if the white was just plastic, I was going to fill that full of DevCon and then just shave the whole thing off. But we're going to have to take it to the blasting cabinet. And I think I'm going to have to blast that all out and then fill it in afterwards. Okay. Really like the sharp 45 on the bottom line. You talking about this right here? See, this 15-second delay, give or take, on the stream is what really makes this kind of conversation difficult. In fact, I think it was on one of her streams. She actually called me and we were chatting on the phone while she was doing that, and so I was making comments on things 15 seconds after the fact, and it was kind of frustrating the crap out of her. So, but yeah, the whole bottom line you've drawn. Okay, yeah, and this line here is just playing off of the natural line that kind of kicks up at the top of the modulus. You have like this line here, then it kicks up right here. This is just highlighting natural lines, and this is an extension of that line. And so I can't take credit for that, but I'm just kind of trying to highlight, because it's really hard to show on a white material with the light on it, kind of what's going on. So we got this. I reckon I could Sharpie it, but it's so hard to be accurate with the Sharpie. But just for the heck of it, we'll highlight that. don't know if that actually helps anybody see what's kind of going on, but just kind of darkening in the lines here. So this section being the gill bump, more or less. This representing the valley that'll sit slightly below this surface and this surface. This is just the extension of the line to kind of help define what the shapes are. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, but man, I'm really not sure how to proceed. I'm going to grind this down, and then we're going to have to reckon what I could do. Something Borderlands. I don't know what that means. You got a broken crossbolt or shell nearby. Yeah. This is going to be hard to communicate, but that middle segment of that bottom line. Middle segment, bottom line. This one? Yes. Okay. That one. Okay. Thank you. Ed, I'll get to you in just a second. Okay, Alice, I can hear you like furiously typing right now. The second 45 to the left looks a bit strange. This one? Personally, I'd bring that line all the way forward to the gills. This one here, this is just this line here is just the natural. I'm just highlighting the natural line of the magwell. The magwell sticks out so dang far. Like it's not like a strife magwell. It's like the whole dang thing is like dummy thick. Is that what kids are saying now these days? So this is just highlighting the natural shape of the magwell. So I'm kind of working with that. Leave it as a doubling back. But this line here is going to be a continuation of this shape. So this whole section here is going to be basically filling in what I cut out here because it was the original one kind of had kind of a sway back here that I didn't like. So I want to just continue this shape with the tying it into the existing contours. So technically will match fairly well. It'll kind of play off this, since this will be one shape, which will kind of land next to this, and then this will be a separate height. So Ed, I'm going to run and grab a crossbolt real quick, and if you want to start saying what you were going to say earlier, because you're so dang patient, and I appreciate that. Okay, what you got? The gray piece of the crossbolt thumbholt stock has some related angly bits. They might be used as overall details here. My scale is on right, which it always isn't. Hmm. I'm looking. Maybe they're too big and flat. Hmm. Yeah, I might. I might be able to take this surface here, the slightly lower valley portion or whatever you want to call it. I might be able to, you know what? Know what? Know what? Know what? This big gray thing really is a pain in the neck, but we really can't eliminate it because it would take, because you have a lot of, here again, I don't know if it, yeah, it doesn't show up in the stream. Let me just scuff this area up a little bit. I believe that was my friend. Just drove by at 3 o'clock. Yeah, that's probably her. Cool. Well, I'm glad she gets to go home. A former coworker friend used to, so we worked together, but we're on different shifts, more or less. I mean, without getting into details. So I'd usually be home when she drove by, so she'd always honk and be like, "Ha!" So she's kind of kept that tradition off and on. So anyway, we got. I'm just going to highlight some things. We got this area here, which is slightly raised, like a tiny bit, and is textured. Whereas we have a, we'll just sharpie it. We got a line here, here, okay, so there's a lot going on here. So this acts like if we try to cut this out or whatever, we have a whole lot of like not a lot of detail because there's those rails, and then we have a bunch of really weird stuff going on here. And to prevent having to just cut the whole side of the blaster out and reshape it, which would be unnecessary and problematic, because remember when this project started and it was going to be nice and simple and quick and easy and it was going to be great. Yeah. So basically what this acts is kind of a dam where all these details can't go up here and ruin what we got going on. So we're going to embrace this, and it's going to be our big bumpy thing. But we may take this guy and cut him and continue this line and just grinder him out all together. Cut that whole section out to where we have just this box. And this box is going to just be a box that kind of helps break up this detail and this detail. So instead of trying to necessarily bring this level all the way across, we may just bring this area here up a little bit. Maybe just slightly lower here, like maybe to this bottom, because we have kind of a vertical, horizontal, and then kind of a 45. We may bring it to just the level of the 45, the bottom of the 45, so it'll, kind of come up here and then angle and then come up. And I think that might be a lot more natural of a progression. It's really hard to work around this crap. And I reckon we probably should have just left the rail or pulled rails off another blaster and then just left things alone and just done something nice and simple and... Okay. Coastal Cruiser. Hate yourself. Thanks for stopping by. Once again, I'm in awe of the sheer amount of details and patience you put into your integrations. Yes, that is where half of my fun stress goes. Because I come up with what I'll call a good idea, and then I'm kind of, like I said, paint myself into a corner and then have to figure out what the heck to do because I moved too far or moved in the different direction. So it's... Okay, you're the line master for sure, thank you. But the shape of the cover looks like it matches the actual thumb grip of the gun. The shape of the cover. Interesting. Are you talking like this curve here kind of looks like this little thing here? Is that what you're saying? Because that was totally not intentional. Alice, DM'd you a picture. Dang it. There again, I really need to invest in a better streaming setup. I need to just reevaluate everything about the way I work in here and get my computer built, put it out here so I have reference that I can have it over, move a lot of this other crap into a better location, set up another shelf, and get some of this stuff up out of my way. Just for it, I can't look at it right now. But as soon as the stream's over, dang it, we'll be talking. Adam's gone to bed. Oh well, good night. Thanks for having him stop by. He can't see it because he's streaming on the phone he used to see the picture. Okay. Here's a radical idea. Have wires on the outside of the blaster for a dirty sci-fi. Awkward raised areas could be used for entry-exit points for the wires so that they could look like they're supposed to stick up. Interesting. Bad thing is my brain doesn't think about wires hanging out. Like sometimes I see other people do it where they have like some like kind of conduit cabling type stuff hanging out, and it's like, oh, that's kind of cool or whatever. But my brain doesn't work like that, so my brain has a hard time thinking that way, and so it like a lot of things. Like I can appreciate looking, I can look at somebody else's thing and say that's really cool, but my brain can't always translate that idea into something I'm working on because my brain just works different. Jester Spartan, yes it is. Okay, cool. Well, that's cool because see, like I saw this thing here as one project, and this here is another project, and because I was so caught up in what I was looking at, I haven't had a chance to really step back and appreciate that. But that is a cool point, and I think I want to, because I was kind of on the fence whether or not I wanted to keep this little hooky bob, but I kind of like that idea though, where you have kind of this, rather kind of boxy angular thing, but you have a few curves, and especially if they're complementary, that's kind of a nice little bonus. So I think I will kind of lean into that just a little bit. I remember chatting to you a little bit at Ragfest 2019 during the end of Superstock Wars. Brought up my plans for Geneva, Demolisher, Centurion, Magnus, Recon Deploy. Oh, that was by the flagpole. We were just taken down, yeah, after the wars, and yeah, we were by the flagpole thing after the dart sweep. Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. Here's a radical idea: do a flip off a dragon. That is pretty darn radical. It's okay. Yes, Team Green, Team Slaughter. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, backtracking. Grind this guy down, just eliminate this shape altogether, and leave this box end. And then I think I'm just going to find a nice flat chunk that we will cut. There's somebody else sending me things. Again, as usual, I will apologize for my phone and the camera, quote unquote, buzzing and probably moving around a bit. Once upon a time, I had a Sharpie and I used it, and oh, there we go. But try to cut something out that's roughly. See, what would it be? It'd be like. Obviously I'm not going to cut on those lines, but just cut out this shape here out of something nice and flat like that. And probably just put a spacer under it, kind of embrace, kind of like what we did over here. Use shims to raise it up to the height that we want, which actually it shouldn't be too far. In fact, we may just, whatever thickness of the material here, we may just stick on the top of this slight raised area here, and then just embrace that and use that for these other lines, which I think having this center section lower than we'd originally talked will help this from being interrupted, because we do have a pretty gradual angle on the mag well. So if we bring this surface up here higher, it's going to move these lines down, and it's going to make things kind of out of balance as far as the kind of relative symmetry of the mag well. So I think that's what we're going to do. In fact, oh dang, I found my styrene, some textured in different textures. I got some ribbed stuff here, but was considering doing that, but I think I'll just keep building it out of scraps and junk because recycling or whatever. So, yeah, I think we'll start with grinding this shape and eliminating this little box thing altogether and getting it down to just this guy. Exactly. Yeah, I might as well finish the Magnus Master Key today, given I got a Dremel for Christmas. Well, Merry Christmas, and I hope that the Dremel allows you to do wonderful things. It wasn't me that time. Bert, Bert. Okay. Hey, Foam Blast. To whom am I speaking? Or is this a family event? Either way, welcome aboard, and thanks for stopping by. Scott Brown. Hi. Okay, I'm going to take a quick dip into the boneyard and see if I can find some, like, the other half of this for cutting this piece here. That's Michelle, but Addie and Martin are here in the same room. Martin's a new guy. Hey, new guy! I'll need to buy some stuff from you guys here pretty quick, so we'll see how well the new guy does. Oh, hello, new guy. Yes, chat. Say hi to Martin, the new guy from Foam Blast. He'll be packaging your orders, I believe. Swatching for the trainer break. Seems confused on why strangers on the internet are saying hi to him. Because we're a dang friendly bunch of folks, dang it. And he just as soon better get used to that, because that's how we roll, folks. Not really a nerf for... Oh, well, not yet, right? Pretty strange for sure. Yes, that's right. We'll change that, I'm sure. Okay, I need a bigger chunk than that. Swore I had the back half of a long shot once. That would be a good use of space. now we may just break down and just cut some flat sheet, which is still okay. That's could have sweared. Because that's all textured. I don't want to use my textured stuff, dang it. This it's way too flimsy. Alright, ski. Okay, well, can't even fall back on that, dang it. Stay over here one more time. These are pretty strange. Okay, is this... Dang it. Makes me happy with using this. Yes, Alice, I have to thank you again for introducing to the Thrilling Adventure Hour. I just last week finished Beyond Belief for like the 4th time, the complete series, and I'm on Sparks, Nevada for like I think the 5th time through now. It's pretty much the only thing that's gotten me through my work life ever since I started. So that was very well timed, and I appreciate that. Okay, ammo box. I had better plans for this. Well, not actual plans, but half thoughts, kind of. It's one thing that like people take off and don't use because Vulcans are cool to just have the chain just kind of spill onto the ground. But years and years and years ago, a long time ago, right about the time I started investigating the nerfing thing, Exiled, which, man, I've talked about him a lot today, almost like I'm talking about integration stuff, used part of the Vulcan ammo box as an extension on his Apollo that he converted into kind of a Chris Vector looking thing, and he used this as kind of the magwell. And I thought, oh, that's so cool. Once I can get a hold of an ammo box, I'm gonna use it for something cool like that. Well, we might just be cutting it up. Might favor this end, or so we can use this for something cool. Like that would be kind of a cool bump to use for something where you need a bump or a detail. This will definitely give us the material we need, though. Okay. I'm still going to pick some laser pistols. Yes, actually, Alice, I have plans, and I'm kicking around a few ideas for some laser six shooters out of a pair of hammer shots. And I don't know if I'd end up using a body kit or just try to scratch build everything or whatever. But no, I do want to do that because I have a video idea set up. So, but yes, no, I'm right there with you. I need a piece of paper or something. Nope. Nope. Actually, that'll work. But yes, Alice, that's a thing that needs to happen. Suddenly have the desire to cover a stripe of hot glue and yeet it into my parts bin to see how it comes out. Oh, yes, speaking of which, you had made some comments, I believe last stream, about how you had some kind of devilishly cut up stripe that was going to just make me gasp in horror. And if it's that one with the modified magwell, then I'd say that's a heck of an idea, and I think there's a lot of potential in what you got going there, and that it would be easy to make that look super neat. So don't doubt yourself. Oh boy, one of those days. There we go. Okay, so we're roughly in this area, so I need to lop that off. That away, that away, that away, and that would be close enough. Scissors, that's a whole different deal. Neo Seeker, finally able to make it to a stream. Ahoy there. Well, ahoy back. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, close enough. Here I was having faith in you and going, what's he going to use a screwdriver? Oh, geez, yeah. Boy, you're telling me. It's a good idea. I need to work out how to finish it. I do have to ask, Ed, why didn't you, so that you still have the orientation of the mag release, or is it because you moved the mag release up to accommodate, was it talons or whatever, that you needed to move the mag release forward and up so it was still accessible, whereas if you moved it straight up directly, then there would be no access for it. Is that what your thing was? Stream died exactly as you explained that. Oh crap! I'm sorry. What part? What part did I miss or not explain or something? You know what? We're just gonna grinder this guy out and get him out of the way, so I don't have to work around him. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, Ed, okay. I noticed that you moved the back of the magazine well forward instead of just taking a section out of the middle of the whole mag well, like I've seen people do in the past for converting the whole dang blaster to half-length mags. My question was, is the reason you did that because you also moved the mag well bottom up to accommodate the talon mag release, and is that the reason you moved the back end forward so that you had room to access the mag release, whereas if you'd moved the mag release straight forward or straight up from where it actually is, then there would be no access to it because the trigger and stuff's in the way? Okay. I'll apologize to everybody who complains about my Dremel being unhappy, but it's about to be unhappy. the mag release up so it matched the position of the Talon mag. Yes, plenty of space there for the mag release, even though too much space is as far from. Oh no, I meant more because a lot of guys in the past have just cut a section out of the mag well and just smooshed it. But since you needed the mag release to move up, I was just asking why didn't you just move it directly up from its present position? Is it because you wouldn't be able to get to it, or did you have another reason why you left the overall length of the blaster alone and just moved the back of the mag well kind of forward and up to accommodate? I'm not criticizing, I'm just actually honestly curious on why you made that decision. No Barracuda emote. I reckon that makes sense. I don't suppose they're that popular of a fish since they don't really do anything super special, but kind of look cool and have a cool name. Did I even watch the video? I have not yet. As a matter of fact, work has been stupid crazy the last couple of days and nights. So, I saw the pictures posted and I thought, huh, wonder why I did that, but I haven't been able to look any further since then. Posted a mobile link in the post. All right, give me a second. Still at work after clocking out, waiting for my ride to get ready. Sound off still. Okay, well, I think everything worth hearing has been in chat, so you're still okay, Matt. Primary reason is you don't have to hack the entire gun in half and make it weaker. Okay, that's fine. That's all I really was curious about. I don't care about it for. Okay. Got that coming out of the way. Okay. Reckon we're close enough now to. I'll be darned. We can be a little thrifty with our usage here, which is nice. All right, Wendell Poons, good night. Thanks for stopping by. Has anyone ever taken apart a Battle Scout? Long enough to cut the top off of it, and that's about as far as it went for me. Move the loading mech. Single breast. You know, thinking about it, I reckon if I'd stayed on topic and had just done the integration here and the integration here and called it a day, we'd probably be getting close to being done, but I'm so dang distracted by adding a super unnecessary detail in the middle. But I don't know. I think it'll be cool. I mean, I reckon it's probably what's going to help set it apart from being just a basic integration, which, dang it, that was the original goal with this project, was to just be a basic integration, to be like, hey, here's a blaster, here's a different stock on it. That's really cool. Mix things up. Zippity doo dah, and pass it off. So okay, just realizing that where this line comes in and where this line comes in, well, not that, this one more than anything. I'm just looking, it's going to come down right about here and just shy of this box, and so we have... Who's calling me? Folks are calling. Whoops, sorry. I'll have to apologize to them later. So, yeah, because this line comes in a little earlier. Yeah, we'll need to build a little extension here because that this line's going to be longer. Okay, just kind of eyeballing this line here. This has all been super guessy. It looks like this line pretty well comes into the intersection here. So we'll just have to adjust things a little bit on this side. So you know what? Let's pull this up all the way here. There we go. No, screwed that up. Fortunately, we have more material, which is why we always add more material than necessary. Again, I'm being super duper unscientific about this. This is, again, not the way that's like, hey, here's how to do it right. This is I happen to be doing it this way, but don't, yeah, there's more like precision type people that know how to do this kind of crap. Well, actually, that's not going to work. Well, I made a mistake. Hang on a second. Let's see if we can use it for this side that doesn't need as much material. And see if we can save it. Actually, oh shoot, we talked about this, didn't we? We might just be cutting this out in order to have this line come through all natural like. We still have to work around that motor. Well. Is this project going to be available for sale? Yes, that is the plan. I'm not sure at what point. I do want to at least get the bodywork done, but we'll see what else happens. Part of me wants to just do the bodywork and leave it to somebody else to do the motor and pusher setup if they want to keep it semi-automatic, or do a rapid strike style pusher, or go with a solenoid, or what have you. I am not going to be taking offers of any kind yet. It's going to be when I get to the point where I want to sell, I will just put it on the open market, and then it'll go that way. So I have a list as long as a horse's leg on, people making offers on projects that I don't know when are going to be finished, and so I don't really like working that way. People trying to come in ahead of time on things, because it's hard to have a price of any kind on a project when I don't even know what its final outcome is. Okay, well I screwed up in that corner, but I'm not too heartbroken about it yet. Need to trim the bottom end off of this a little bit more, and we'll see how we're looking. Okay, getting close. Close. Nick Rari, hey, that's a guy that knows a little bit about integrations. Thanks for stopping by. Actually, you know what? We'll nip this dude. Real close. Needs more. Okay. I'm fairly okay with that, I believe. In fact, I think I'm okay with that enough that I will glue it in place until somebody gives me a reason why I shouldn't, which I could easily be overlooking. Okay. If nobody has any druthers, then let's do this. Okay, a less than ideal fix, but a necessary one. So let that cure a little bit, and we will work on the other side. Just glad I got to watch Mr. Nathan work on a blaster. Well, Matt, you are always welcome to come watch me on, which apparently Monday and or Tuesday is now my new schedule, apparently, for streaming. At least it has been the last, what, 3 weeks? 4 weeks? And it seems to be working all right. In the meantime, anyway. That may change, but we'll see. Mod do that 20,087. Hi. Gunslinger, welcome aboard. What did you miss? Not a whole lot. Some nice chat in the chat, and just a lot of grinding and cutting and things like that. Has anybody been watching our time? How long have I been up? Does it show anywhere? $2. It's not bad. Probably ought to start wrapping it up here fairly soon-ish, unless there's some kind of monstrous breakthroughs or something. But I think we kind of having a game plan of what we're doing here is a big step. When we got this piece cut, this is going to be our new surface in here. Once this is all kind of blended in here and there, we'll, like I said, I'm probably going to have to just, how much of this I got left? Not enough to do this, I don't think. What I might have to do is rough it out with scraps, just kind of build up, you know, a higher layer here and step it down to where it's kind of roughed out, and then just do a layer of this over the top and then kind of sculpt it out. So 2 hours 40 minutes. Oh, that's different. Okay. Just kind of eyeballing, just kind of looking down at it a little bit. You can kind of tell there's the bulges here, but they're not like, they don't like stand way out, but yet they're still kind of there just to let you know, hey, there's something going on, which is really cool. And I think that's going to be a nice, happy balance. Okay, so this side. Do I have any plans to go to Nerfed? As I've said on many occasions now, I would love to go to Nerfed, our local arena, as soon as my work schedule gives a darn about my personal life, which is not necessarily anytime super duper soon, but I would like it to be. It'd be super cool if they didn't do Airsoft on Mondays and Tuesdays, my days off now. I'd love to get back to going on Thursdays, especially first Thursdays. One of the other guys that I work with is another of the more active nerfers in the group. We're going to see if we can leverage getting out early on Thursdays. Uh, getting off an hour or two early on Thursdays, so we can actually go first Thursdays of the month to go to our used to be meeting time, but since we're the two regulars basically, I don't know what's been going on anymore. So as it comes, and as soon as I know more, then you guys will know as well. Okay, so this needs to come down for sure. Just for the heck of it, let's just because I need a bit of an eyeball. Yep. Interesting. Okay, this line here. Of course, it meets up with this guy here, but this line here is actually angled, whereas it's just 90-degree from the side of the blaster. So where I was making plans based off this, that doesn't exist here, which kind of throws things off, which is unfortunate. And again, like this line here, a slightly raised portion comes and goes down, whereas it's just all the way across on that one. Huh. Bummer. Well, so much for the modulus being more or less symmetrical, because that was kind of the main reason I was wanting to use this. I got real close to doing a Demolisher version, but Lowrine Mechanical Artworks already did one of those, a Alpha Hawk and Demolisher integration, and it looks fantastic. So I wanted to try to be a bit different and also not be uh, burdened with the issues of uh, asymmetry. But here we are, asymmetrical. Rats. Heard you did a mod party with Blue Wolf Nerf. I had a mod party, and two guys showed up. One guy for about a half hour, and the other guy and his family stayed for a while. And that was it. The plan was to do more mod parties during the summer, but that is the summer that my life went down the tubes work-wise. And I no longer have realistic uh, work hours where I can like associate with people. So I want to change that as quick as possible, especially with summer being around the corner, or at least spring being around the corner, because things as they are kind of suck. So my goal is to either improve or change my circumstances so I can go back to trying to foster a little community out here. That includes events, games, and mod parties here at the house and beyond. What is my job? Didn't really like us talking just in general for safety reasons and security and blah 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 stuff like that. Um, more for personal things like locally type, but just to keep it all the same. I don't really talk about that kind of thing online either, just because of things. Um, but I reckon I can say that I am a troubleshooter. Yeah, I really like that. Like just picking it up, your eye kind of naturally, I don't know, like my brain always like to pick it up and it's like, oh, okay, we got a mag, and just kind of as I'm reaching for this, you kind of sight down the blaster itself, and it's like that's just a nice look. I like what's happening here, so I think that's gonna be good. It's still subtle, but no, I think that's gonna be a nice addition without being overly invasive as far as it doesn't reach out and grab your eyeball and yank it out of your head or anything. It's not that intense, but it's just one of those where it's gonna be like, oh, look at that, huh? Oh, I'll be darned. So, which is cool when something can make a statement yet being very subtle about it. I think is kind of a delicate balance style-wise. You don't want something that kind of pops but doesn't immediately grab your attention and like distract you from the rest of everything. It's gonna be nice when I can get this thing done and get it in primer, because I hate having the duck bill out here. You know, it looks like some kind of crane or something because it's like white and then like this giant orange bill out here. And so it will be nice once the blaster's bodywork's completed and I can put it in primer or something to kind of seal it all and make it one color so I can actually see the blaster itself for what it is and not for having duck lips or whatever. Okay. You know, I think I'm just going to trim this little box all the way out. That's going to screw up. Let's see. There again. Yeah. Just freeze in here real quick so we can kind of talk about what's going on here. Having this bump here throws things off because suddenly this line is really awkward. I mean, we have this part, which is cool, but we kind of lose. And we can kind of build this back up. You know, if we need to, cut the whole thing out and then reshape this through here so it's straight all the way to this point and down. Which might be best since, I mean, even with the way things are here, we're going to have to do, you know, I left this a little gap here so we can fill that with DevCon, so it's just, so this is glued to this and the base, and so it'll make a little structural, it'll have adhesive on two sides basically instead of just one. I think it'll give us a little more flexibility for blending and stuff like that. So since we will have to sculpt kind of a new line, because this line won't be down here anymore, it'll actually be up here just because of the angle on things. This actually should match up right about there. But it'll change that, or at least this aspect of that. So I think we're okay with having to rebuild this body line since we'll be doing essentially the same thing on the other side. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this off all the way, at least cut it off to this level here, which is slightly above this, just so we can get that same flat, consistent thing. So that means Dremel time. Am I planning to full painting the shell, or is that up to the purchaser? I'm kind of torn. I hate to limit the eventual owner too much. Oh, did the stream stop again? Whoops. Hang on a second. I'll cut this off and continue with your question. Okay, looked like stream cut out for a second when I was answering the question, so I'll go over it again, even if it actually didn't cut out, just in case. Painting the shell, my brain wants to just leave it all up to the eventual owner, but at the same time, I mean, I have kind of a picture developing on what I want, and so as a creator, I want that picture to be what it looks like, but at the same time, I don't want to paint it and then have whoever buys it have to modify the body or something and to accommodate whatever he's wanting to add, he, she, they, whatever. You know what I mean? We're pretty loose collar around here. I don't want to limit them, because if they're like, oh, I want to install a such and such, but that means I have to cut a little hole in the body or shave this off or trim this or something. I don't want to be limited, but at the same time, there shouldn't be anything. I mean, people talking about doing another flywheel set. I believe that'll cause issues. So this guy mounts like there. I don't know if, well, technically you'd probably squeeze a second set of motors if you went with like the dual stage with the micro flywheels, not micro, the hurricane style flywheels, like was it the Woozy? Is that what it was? That had like two sets of like mid-size wheels, like the hurricane style wheels, but they're closer together. You could probably hug two of those in there. I don't know if anybody even makes a cage like that for the modulus, but that might be an option without having to modify stuff. But I just I don't want to necessarily limit the eventual build. Somebody might have a cool idea that I didn't consider, and I don't want to uh, prevent that. But at the same time, I also selfishly want it to look the way I want it to look, and so we'll. I don't know. It very well could be this project just develops on its own and it just becomes a completed blaster. I mean, I've heard a few people talking about solenoids, and it's like, okay, that'd be kind of cool. I might end up, putting a solenoid in there, but at the same time, does the next guy not want that? It's it's hard to say. It'll kind of depends on how the personality of the build goes. If we get some good steam, and you know, my original plan was to throw this together really quick and get it out there to somebody else. But the way it's going right now, even just on the shell side, it's becoming a much bigger project and developing a personality that I didn't want it to develop. Which means that it very well might turn into a full-blown project, which means I might throw paint and internals at and just sell it outright. But the original plan, where my heart originally was to just throw it together quick and get it out there, just to kind of cleanse my creative palette and just to complete something just for the sake of being able to say I completed it, kind of to get over some kind of mental hurdles kind of thing. But we'll see. Fell asleep. Oh, are you suggesting that my stream is boring, Alice? Is that where we're going now? Because I'll totally agree with you, but I at least have to feign offense, just for the heck of it. I think you meant your stream is relaxing and soothing. Oh yes, there we go. That's much better. Either way, no offense taken. Alice is one of my dearest friends in the hobby, and I love her to bits. But that doesn't mean we can't have fun once in a while. Okay, that actually evens out pretty well. So oh yeah. Oh, hi, honey. Thanks for joining the stream for a minute to let me know you're on your way home. Please drive safe, and I'll see you real soon, hopefully. Love you. Honey, if you're still watching the show, I don't know if you just did a drive by again, but if you're still watching, what would you like for dinner? I can get jumping on that here pretty quick if you'd like. If you are not still watching, if you just came in to leave the message and left, then I'm not going to worry about it yet. Hmm. You know, something's going on outside that's got some neighborhood dogs upset. School got out a little bit ago, so it might just be dumb kids being dumb. She hasn't responded, so I don't think she's watching. Okay, well the goal here is going to be to try to get this piece cut and glued in place before she gets home, and then we'll bag it. Deal? That can't be here already. That sounds like somebody walking their dog. Whiny face. Yes, your face, it's whiny. Okay, we are right in the ballpark. Okay, I think I can live with that. Getting on to Sylvia Clock, so I'll be with you next time. Good night. All right, Ed, thanks for stopping by, offering your opinion and stuff like that. We're going to be wrapping up here in a few seconds anyway, so you're not missing anything. But looking forward to seeing you and show up in the stream next time. In the meantime, have a good night. Okay, with this in place, there's still going to be a little bit of filling here, but that's since we're going to have to reshape that little piece, but I'm not too overly concerned about that. That leaves this area here where we can finish trimming this up and then shape the bottom of our little scoopy gill thing. That's looking good. Have to trim this a little bit just to match this, but there again, that's minor. Fill in this void here, which we'll probably do by just putting some tape on the backside, filling it full, and then cutting it down with the file. Either way, and yeah, I'm pretty sure once it's all cured, I'm just going to build up a couple layers in the inboard here and taper it out in the shape roughly of the thing here. That way it's not solid putty, but I do think we're going to be stuck with putty in the general shape just because it is compound curves all the way around. And I think that'd be like an absolute nightmare to try to shape something to fit there, and I don't think it would ever work or look as right as if we just sculpted it. So as much as I don't like working with putty, it might be our best option given the circumstances. Not sure I'll be streaming tomorrow or not. Might, if there's interest. If people are like, yeah, totally, I want to see what happens next, then I'll see if I can. Like I said, I've got Anchor Arts is coming over tomorrow to pick up some stuff, some blasters and things. That's going to be about 10 o'clock-ish. I don't know how long he'll be here, if he's in a hurry or if he wants to chat, go through some stuff. We'll see. We'll see how the rest of the day goes after that. Might stream for just a little bit later. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. That's entirely up in the air. No promises either way. But I think that, for the heck of it, let's figure we got this like that. So we'll just kind of, just so we kind of have an idea of what's going on there. Yeah, that's pretty close, I think. So, like that. All right, Ski Gang. I appreciate everybody who stopped in today, those who stuck through the majority of the thing, those of you who just stopped in for a minute and said hi. Thank you very much, Bobo, and oh crap, who was the other guy? We had a $5 donation and two twos. Two $2 this is. Again, always appreciate contributions and things, and they always stay in the community. Depending on, regardless of what the project is, I try to keep YouTube monies and money tied directly from the community. I like to keep in the community, so that's always going to be the case there. Got some good things. We didn't really get a whole lot done as far as physically done, but we did a lot of brain work, and that's really a lot of times the important part, or really the most difficult part of things. We got a good game plan for both of these awkward places that I made and shouldn't have made. Got a plan of attack for these little deals here. Figuring out what to do with this awkward space here, which was a biggie. Once we get this part done, I think the rest of the build's going to go by pretty quick. I do need to get to a hobby store whenever I can and get some carbon fiber on Alice's recommendation. I am excited to try that little trick here to get the upper jaw in place. I might go ahead and off screen, off camera, do some filling on around here and on the bottom here with the DevCon and stuff, just to get some of that more mundane stuff out of the way so we can actually make some good progress on stream. But again, that depends on what happens if I get called out here in a little bit, because everybody's going to be getting off shift in a minute, which means the likelihood of me getting a phone call is pretty high. So I'll leave you guys to the rest of your evening or morning or afternoon or whatever the heck it is. And oh, geez, Lightning Eagle 14. Sorry, I was just wrapping things up and closing out. But try to catch it tomorrow. Well, if I stream tomorrow. But thanks for stopping in for a second anyway. So, good night, everybody. Thanks for the good chat. We had some good conversations everywhere. Everybody's nice and civil and stuff like that. And it was really good. I really appreciate the company. It is good. I mean, streaming is not only fun to do, and as a viewer, it's always cool to jump in on everybody's stream, see what's going on. As a streamer, it's enjoyable to have different insights into things. Sometimes when I'm looking at this one project, like we had today, I was too focused on one aspect of the project to not see the bigger picture, which was brought up, which was a nice bonus, and just stuff like that. So it's nice to have the community insight on a project, and I always appreciate your input. So have a wonderful evening, day, morning, whatever it is where you are at, and whatever it is, be safe, and we'll see you guys next time.